Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. I'm trying to figure out how to get these rails off so that I can refinish them. They slide back and forth, but you need to get these end caps off. There's two stainless steel screws on the inside, which I removed with an Allen wrench, and well, I don't know what size it is. It's metric. I'm not sure I can read what's marked on there, but just, they always come in a set, so just try some different sizes till you find the right size. There's the two of them, and they come from one right there. I hope you can see that because I'm holding the camera backwards. And one back here. This is an 02 Suburban. It has a special roof rack on it. It's like the off-road roof rack. It has this little roller thing so you could, I don't know, put a canoe up there and roll it and push it up on top. Anyway, I'm trying to pry this off without breaking something. It's a pretty old truck, and the best place I found to pry, I used a wide blade scraper, and right here seemed to pop it off. So now I'm going to take it off and see what's underneath. There was one more clip right there, and you can see it right there, right in the middle of the camera, which I did get it off without breaking it. Yay. And now this is what's underneath. So you can see what you need to take apart. Let me put this down there. I just polished my roof, so being careful. So you would take, oh, look at this. So I can get those off probably just by sliding them back here. There's a big space here. I think they'll pop right out. I don't even need to take any more of this off. But if I wanted to take this middle piece off to play around with it, there's just 2 bolts here and 2 bolts on the other side. And it looks like that would come off. And then these side pieces are bolted on. So really, pretty much I have exposed the whole thing for you. So if you have this kind of a roof rack and you're looking to take it apart, the secret is those 2 little Allen screws there, and then one little tab on the back, and then pry it right in the middle of the camera where I'm holding it, just to the right of my hand. Pry it down there. What you're prying against is not soft rubber. It's kind of a hard thing. But use a wide blade and just be careful. Maybe even use something a little wider than that if you've got like 1.5 inches or something. But there you go. I'm just going to undo these and slide them off and play around with them, paint them or something, because they're just faded from the sun. But I have shown you what I wanted to show you, and I figured it out myself. So I'm not going to do any more to this video except say give me a thumbs up or a like if it helps you out, and subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. Happy Memorial Day weekend, and see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so I hate to leave you hanging. The size on that is 2.5 millimeter. And one other little detail. This, okay, sure. That's a Torx. That's not a hex. So that's a T25 Torx. So don't, I mean, it's not an Allen. It's a Torx. So don't try to get this off with an Allen wrench. Those are Torx bits. So T25 Torx. Okay, you'll just screw up the hole with an Allen. That's it. Bye. Not so fast. So to do what I want to do, take this out and take the one up front out. They don't actually slide out nice and easy. But if you take this little 10 millimeter, let me show you. right there, right in the middle. 10 millimeter nut off. Then you can pry this up in the air about a 1/4 inch, and then it will slide out. Or you could take this whole rack off the back and probably take the whole thing off, but I really wasn't into taking the whole thing off. I just wanted to have a little fun painting a couple of pieces that were the most faded. The rest of this I'm just going to dye it or paint it. And the plastic on both ends I can dye with plastic dye. But that's the little trick, is take that 10 millimeter out and then pry it up about a 1/4 inch, and then you can slide this out. Okay? Okay, there it is. I showed you. It's off. I was going to take these knobs off, but they got a little capture nut on there, so I just kind of forced it. Don't force it too hard, or I don't know. I don't think you can bend this. It's pretty sturdy stuff, but you only need like a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8. Okay? There it is. Some of you are probably wondering, well, why didn't you just paint them all in place? And sometimes Froggy just likes to take stuff apart. I figured, what the heck, I'm going to take this off too. As I already told you, it's only 4 10 millimeter bolts, and I already got the other side off, and this will just come right off. See, there it is. It's off. I need 2 hands. Okay, now I got all those pieces off. I can do the side rails another day, and I am going to leave them on. So I'll do another video of cleaning this stuff up and painting it, because that's plastic, so that's going to take something different. This is aluminum, I imagine. Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. These are a couple of pieces that I took off of my roof rack. I have an 02 Suburban Z71, which is the off-road model, and it's got like a heavy-duty roof rack on it, more than the average Suburban. And these are clearly plastic. I don't know what kind of plastic it is. If somebody knows, I'd appreciate it if you put it down in the comments. And this is stuff called Forever Black, which I have used before. These actually have one coating on it. You can see that looks a little better than the underneath side. And I'm going to put another coating on it just to make them really pop. And I do want to give you a heads up. I heard or read somewhere on the internet that there's a new formulation for this. This is probably like 10 years old, or at least 8 years old. And there's a new formulation that doesn't work as well, maybe. So, you know, if anybody from Forever Black sees this, they want to send me some of the new formulation, I'll test it out for them. But I just wanted to give you guys and gals that heads up. It probably has something to do with the EPA and reformulation, and for all I know, it might be a California-only edition of Forever Black, but I doubt that. They're probably national sales. So there. Anyway, this is the old stuff. I know it works good, so I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to use a cleaner this time. The cleaner can concentrate, and just wipe it on. I'll read the directions. It probably just says wipe it on. And then I'll put the Forever Black, and I'll show you like one before and after. Well, I'm glad I read it. It says mix 4 ounces to a quart of water. So I'm only going to mix 2 ounces to a half a quart of water, so I'll have some left over. Okay, it didn't suds up or anything like that, so I did end up actually only using a quarter of this, because I know I just had 2 little pieces. I just wiped it on with a paper towel there and wiped it off. And one of the issues I did have with this product was it shows the brush marks, and they do say on the bottle use 2 coats, so this is going to end up being like 4 coats, and then maybe the brush marks will not be so visible. I did order some other vinyl, rubber, plastic dye by a brand called SEM, and I'm going to use that on some other parts of the car. I did a little research on this stuff, and that was one of the names that popped up quite a bit. It seemed well regarded. But this is the other stuff. This over a newspaper because the stuff is dye and it's black and it'll make a big mess. I don't want to drop it on my patio, so this should take care of it. You're liable to get some on your hands. It's water-based. Nah, that's some other kind of dirt. Anyway, it's water-based, so it comes off okay, not too bad. But if you get it on something porous like concrete or even on my garage floor, which does have a finish on it, it was a little bit tricky to get off. I had to get on it right away. Okay, here we go. You just kind of squeeze it. There's like a little rubber membrane inside there with a slit in it, and when you squeeze it, you load up the sponge. And I do recommend you take that applicator end off and wash it and clean it. Otherwise, I don't know, it might dry up on the sponge, and then the sponge wouldn't be so good next time you use it. I'm going to use two hands. I'll just show you this when it's finished. I did make a few drips there, didn't I? I was probably going a little faster than I would if I didn't have a newspaper down there, but anyway, let's take a look. Well, that's not quite dry yet, but you can see so far the brush marks do not seem so bad, and I think that's because I've got several coats on here. Now remember, if yours are in worse condition than this, and this is not that bad, if yours are in worse condition, then you'll be more impressed with the results. So that's the one that I just coated. I'm only going to put one coat on it, I think, because it looks pretty good. And this is the one that has not been, it was done a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and now I'm doing it over again, just for the fun of it. So there you can see it. Give me a thumbs up or a like if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. I do a lot of automotive. I do some home repair, home improvement, anything else that tickles my fancy. See you guys and gals. Froggy out. Bye. Well, they're both done, and yeah, they still do have brush strokes. You know, that applicator, it's like a cheap foam brush that you buy at one of those hardware stores. And it's not as good as a $10 paintbrush, so I think that's mostly the problem with the results here, is that applicator. But that other stuff I told you about, SEM, is spray-on, so we'll see how that works.